In the world of true crime, some cases are so shocking that they leave a lasting impact on our collective psyche. One of such cases is the murder of Anastasia Yeshchenko at the hands of Oleg Sokolov, a Russian historian and university professor with a deadly fascination for Napoleon Bonaparte. Today, we'll delve into the twisted world of Sokolov's obsession and explore the events that led to the tragic demise of his young lover. This is the dark side of obsession, the Oleg Sokolov and Anastasia Yeshchenko case. Oleg Sokolov was a renowned historian in St. Petersburg, Russia, known for his extensive knowledge of the Napoleonic era. He was a professor at St. Petersburg State University and had written several books on the subject. However, his academic achievements were overshadowed by his dark and troubled personal life. Sokolov's dark obsession with Napoleon went beyond mere academic interest. He often reenacted battles and even dressed up as the French emperor. Anastasia Yeshchenko was born in Russia, though details about her early life, such as her exact birthday and family background, are not widely documented in the media. However, it is known that she had a deep interest in history from a young age. Yeshchenko pursued her higher education at St. Petersburg State University, one of Russia's most prestigious institutions, where she focused on history. Her academic work was centered around European history, particularly the era of Napoleon Bonaparte, which was also the specialty of her professor, Oleg Sokolov. Anastasia Yeshchenko, a 24-year-old student, was one of Sokolov's lovers. He was 64 years old. Their relationship was marked by a significant power imbalance, with Sokolov being much older and in a position of authority. Despite this, Yeshchenko was deeply invested in the relationship, and the two shared a passion for history and art. As a student, Anastasia was described by her peers and colleagues as intelligent, passionate, and dedicated to her studies. She was known for her enthusiasm about historical research, her quiet demeanor, and her commitment to the academic world. Yeshchenko was reportedly close to achieving significant academic success, as she was in the final stages of her graduate studies when her life was tragically cut short. Their relationship began when Yeshchenko was one of Sokolov's students, and it reportedly developed into a personal one over time. According to various reports, Sokolov was known to have an intense personality and a controlling nature, and this dynamic would later become critical to the tragic events. The precise nature of their relationship, whether it was initially consensual or marked by manipulation and abuse, has been the subject of much speculation. On November 7th, 2019, Sokolov was found drunk and disoriented in the Moika River in St. Petersburg, Russia. He had fallen into the river while trying to dispose of Yeshchenko's body parts, which he had dismembered and decapitated after shooting her at his apartment. The police were called to the scene, and Oleg Sokolov was helped out of the Moika River by authorities. He was calling for help, standing in chest-deep water. In his backpack, they found Anastasia's severed hands. During the investigation, Sokolov confessed to the crime, stating that he had killed Yeshchenko in a fit of rage. He claimed that she had been planning to leave him and that he had become increasingly jealous and possessive. He also stated that she had become increasingly jealous of Sokolov's adult daughters, who she didn't want in their apartment. Regardless if this is true or not, the police found evidence of the crime at Sokolov's apartment, including a sawed-off shotgun and the saw used to dismember Yeshchenko's body. After the killing, he hid Anastasia's body in the next room, and the next evening, he invited guests over. After the party, the history professor dismembered her body with a saw and tried to get rid of the remains. Sokolov was charged with murder and faced trial in a Russian court. In 2020, he pled guilty to the crime and was sentenced to 12.5 years in prison. The trial was highly publicized, and many Russians were shocked by the brutality of the crime. Prior to the incident, in 2008, A complaint was filed against Sokolov by his ex-girlfriend named Ekaterina Ivanova. The incident took place in Moscow. Ivanova told Sokolov that she was going to break up with him because she found out that he was married. When she came to pick up her things, he greeted her calmly, and suddenly he snapped. He tied her hands and then tied her to a chair and began to beat her, threatening her with a hot iron. Ivanova sheds additional light on some other gruesome details of Sokolov's personality traits. For example, he would go nuts whenever he put on his Napoleon costume. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that Sokolov's obsession with Napoleon had played a significant role in the murder. He had become increasingly unhinged, using his historical reenactments as a way to cope with his own personal demons. Yeshchenko, unfortunately, had become a pawn in his twisted game. The murder of Anastasia Yeshchenko sent shockwaves through the Russian academic community. Oleg Sokolov, who had been a respected academic and historian, was widely condemned for the crime. His reputation, built over decades of scholarly work, was completely destroyed by his actions. In the wake of the murder, many of Sokolov's colleagues and students expressed their disbelief, with some noting that his personal and academic behavior had been troubling for years. As we reflect on this tragic case, we're left with a haunting question. What other dark secrets lie beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary lives? Anastasia Yeshchenko's life was tragically cut short by a man that she had trusted, her professor and mentor, Oleg Sokolov. Although she was poised for a promising academic future, her potential was stolen by violence and betrayal. In the wake of her death, Anastasia's memory has become a symbol of the need for greater awareness of power dynamics in academic relationships. While she is gone, her story continues to inspire conversations about justice, accountability, and the protection of vulnerable individuals from abuse of power.